Greetings, dear ones. I'm Krayon of Magnetic Service. Humanity has been in survival. And in that state, they are only partially aware of a multi-dimensional reality. If the universe, the galaxy, your bodies, your reality was in an immense hue of colors, you are in black and white. And some of you are discovering shades of gray. Is there more than you can perceive or think or see or imagine? The answer is yes. The highest sciences on your planet, which you would call physical sciences, for many years have been dealing on the outskirts of what we will call multidimensional discovery. It's not new. One of the highest minded thinkers that you can imagine, you called Einstein. In all that he gave you and all that he could imagine and think, he had trouble with multidimensionality. When they started the discovery of multidimensionality, they started with looking at particles that were obviously different than your reality. They called them quantum particles. Just a name. A name of reality that was different from yours. It opened the door for questioning what was there. The name quantum stuck. The very idea that a particle could be multidimensional was labeled quantum. That became a buzzword, if you would like, for multidimensional things. And we're going to carry on that tradition. Make it simple. You live in a practical world that only includes a few of the dimensions. We even hesitate to count them because they're not countable. They're not really linear. You want them to be, so you gave them names and numbers. There are those that would say that means that we are broaching a new dimensionality. Oh, yes, you are. And then they will linearize it and number them. We're moving into 5. Oh, some are really brilliant. They're at 7. And we've told you before, you're still in black and white if you think that way. It's bigger than this. Dimensionality is a soup of reality, with many hues and many shades, and you're in the black and white portion moving into the shades of gray. There's no color yet. Not with a general humanity. There are a few brilliant ones who have the color. Do you understand just a little of the barrier that might exist between the multidimensional quantum concepts that we are going to talk about and the one you're in? It is the same. So how do you get to the next stage, and what is happening? Dear ones, I'm going to make a statement. For multidimensionality encompasses everything, not physics. Physics is simply the study of the way it works. That's all. But you're going to find it everywhere. And there would be those who say, what's the big deal? And I'll tell you what the big deal is. There is reality in so many levels. I'm going to make a statement. Right now, on this planet, the highest inventions that are being worked on, that are being manifested, that are being thought of, developed, and used are quantum. Now let us back up to a channel of a few weeks ago. And I started to describe and define what you're going to discover eventually about something you think is different. And it's called consciousness. Define it in your mind. You'd say, it is the way we think. It might be identified as our vibratory rate of thinking. Oh, how 3D of you. You know what consciousness is? It's the human being's quantum engine. And it's physical. We told you it has rules of physics. When you started to apply, and when you started to understand, and when you started to know about how to work with your own consciousness, no one else's, but your own, the moment you begin, you inform every single cell in your body to start shifting into shades of gray. It is automatic because it is expected of an old soul. We have given you a little physics. We're going to give you a little physics again. You're dealing with basically 4 laws, what you call laws of physics. 2 of them, we have said, are strong and weak electromagnetic force. You have relabeled those as gravity and electromagnetics. Not really. The second 2, the strong and the weak nuclear force, what scientists take a look at the core of the atom and examine. And then the 2 missing ones, which will give you a total of 3, 4, no, 5 maybe, 6, 3 pairs, will complete it all. The strong and weak multidimensional force, when discovered, analyzed, defined, and when finally understood, will even explain what you would call dark matter. There is no such thing. It's simply invisible. Now, let's talk about a brilliant one for a moment to give you just a hint of how science starts to relate to consciousness. His name was Tesla, and he loved magnetics. He came for a reason and left in frustration. Let me tell you what he saw in his laboratory through his eyes. Dealing only with designer magnetic fields that were coarse, without computers, without the electronics kind of elegance you have today. All he could do was flounder in general areas of designer magnetics. But 3 times or more he touched on a formula that changed the mass of things on his workbench. He didn't discover anti-gravity. There is no such thing. He discovered the relationship between designer magnetics and the mass of an object. You think mass is stable. You think if something is bigger, it has a higher mass. Oh, how 3D. That's all you've seen. And it gives you something called gravity, which you also don't understand. You know why? Because it's quantum. Magnetics is quantum. You play with it. That's all you do. You play with it. You don't understand it yet. Humanity is starting to work with consciousness. And consciousness will change physics. And part of physics is biology. The masters gave it to you first. They begged you to watch it. And what did you do? As unelegant humans, literally in survival mode, you worshipped them. You didn't get it. You didn't understand. This could be you. And they came again and again and again. And by the way, they're coming again and again. Perhaps you'll listen this time. Consciousness is the key and is the answer to a very esoteric and quantum question. If quantum energy has no real time, if quantum energy can be projected through portions of entanglement so there's no distance, one of the questions today, how about the law of the inverse square? You know what that is? That's a three-dimensional law that quantum physics ignores. You can send a signal from here, right now, today, to the farthest part of the universe, and they'll get it instantly, because it's not part of black and white. Are you understanding this? The ones who are receiving shades of gray are starting to develop the receivers that are quantum in their brains. Do you know what spontaneous remission really is? It's the human being who has a triggering from whatever process you want to call it, through his akash, through fear, through joy, through survival, who all of a sudden, for a moment, sees in color and has the ability of the masters and heals himself in minutes. Instant healing. You're working on shades of gray in the room. As you do, there is another rule that starts to take shape. Something is hidden in your body. Now, if I told you who hid it there, you're not going to like the answer. There are processes that are quantum. All of you have mastery. Your DNA is equipped fully. There's nothing that has to be given to you from somewhere else to activate it. The basic truth is this: your free will starts a process that the cells have been listening for. The energy was not right on the planet, and now it is. The part of space you were going into was not right, and now it is. There's a plan here, and it's benevolent, and it's loving, and it's gracious, and it honors free choice of the human being to see in color. I'm going to say it again. The most profound inventions and processes on this planet right now are the ones that totally involve consciousness, not physics. But consciousness is physics. The creator of the universe is the master physicist. And when you start realizing what is in these forces, even the four basic ones, but especially in the six, you will include consciousness as a major player of physics. And that is why your mind and what you have can instantly speak to your biology and get a result, and say to the mountain, move, and it will. What if all humanity had that power? The intellectual says, that's laughable. What if you did? And I say to you, congratulations, your Earth just graduated. There's no confliction. because it comes with wisdom to use it. Do you understand that as you mature and you become seeing the shades of gray, your palate changes, your wisdom changes. You figure out why things are what they are. You stop the problems of the earth that you think are unsolvable simply because you're in black and white and that's all you see. Every single holy man, shamanic energy, anyone that you know who could manipulate reality had something else, if you remember, and that is profound wisdom. Profound. It comes with the territory. Can you imagine a human race that is wise? It's happened before in other places in your galaxy. That is why we are comfortable to say today, we have seen it and you're doing it. The degree of speed at which you accomplish it is up to you. Slow, fast, but the snowball is rolling. It's going to be hard to stop. And in the process, as light and dark itself recalibrates itself, there will be conflict. And we told you there would be. Do you dare celebrate it? Understand. We told you, God within means you're eternal. God within means you're wise and you're smart. God within means that you were smart enough to hide this from you until you became mature enough to understand it and use it. Dear ones, the message of Krayon from the beginning, has said that you are facing change. Leave this room differently than you came and get on with it. And so it is.